Sherilynn with Shalom Productions and Shalom Ministries, May 10th, 2021. Well, I did my usual. Monday morning is laundry morning. And I woke up really, really early, but then I went back to sleep. That's the domestic news. More domestic news. Paul is going into Presbyterian Hospital this morning, reluctantly. I have to say this, and I tell it like it is, right? He's become a bitter old man. He's 61, soon to be 62 in November 20th. Actually, he was born on Thanksgiving. Somebody born on Thanksgiving should be thankful that he's getting the help he needs at Presbyterian Hospital. I used to work at Presbyterian Hospital for years. First, my second job. My first job was at Beverly Hospital. Second job, I take it back, was my third job. Second job was Pico Rivera Hospital, which is now no longer there. And then I got the job at Presbyterian Hospital as they called it a tray girl. I worked in the nutrition department. You go around, you help the patients with their menus, and then you do that. Well, then after I had my daughters, I went back into nursing, got my CNA, and then I got involved in, later on, past that, back in the, I guess it would be the 80s, 90s, I got involved in utilization review, and I was a credentialing coordinator for Gallatin Medical Foundation, which was a part of Presbyterian Hospital. So then I was actually doing administrative nursing, basically, not working with the patients, but in the office, because I really didn't qualify anymore to work with patients because I didn't have my CNA certificate anymore. And basically, the reason I wasn't good at being a CNA is because I'm an empath. I would feel their pain. I'd go home crying about, telling my husband and my kids, the suffering I've seen at this nursing home, la, la, la. But I was good at, the administration part, So this is a true story. When I was working at Gallatin Medical Foundation, after I quit Huntington Provider Group, I worked for a doctor called Dr. Magnus. He was the medical director there at Gallatin. He's probably retired now. He might even be dead. I don't know. But I went into, they have what they call a utilization review, where the doctors go around a table and you're there in the room taking notes as the coordinator, and they're deciding who gets what, whether they get their surgery, whether they get a procedure. It's an HMO, and that's how they have to do it. Well, I remember one incident, and this was the reason why I quit Gallatin Medical Foundation. One of the surgeons and the medical director were laughing about one of the patients, and I stood up and I said, this is what goes on behind the scenes. This is what's become of medical care. I go, you people, and I stood up to the doctors, the head general surgeon. I said, you people should be ashamed of yourselves the way you're talking about these patients as if they're meat and cattle fodder. I go, this is disgusting. I stood up and I walked out of the meeting. Well, 2 weeks later, I gave my notice. I couldn't handle it anymore. I told my administrator, I go, this is no way to run a medical facility. And I said, I might have stepped out of line, just being an administrative nurse, but how they're talking about patients, and if this is the way medical care is going, I don't want to be a part of it, and I quit. And then Randy and I went to Colorado, had Michelle, and the rest is history. I got out of the medical field after that. My daughter, Sharon, she stayed in. She's actually working in a major hospital in New York City. Can you believe that? And she went all the way, nurse practitioner. She's delivering babies and almost a doctor, okay? That's what a nurse practitioner is. Never in my wildest dreams did I ever think she would go this far. And my other daughter, Karen, has a master's degree in teaching. They make oodles of money. They don't need mom. Mom doesn't need, I need them in a certain way. an emotional support, but not financial. Okay. I would never take any money from my kids like my ex-husband Lenny did. Oh yeah, he borrowed a lot of money from Sharon. That was funny because when she was 18, he kicked her out of the apartment that they were living with his ex-wife. Yeah, they're not married anymore. Yeah, that didn't work out, did it? He really loved her. I think they were married for 15 years, but she dumped him for some other Mexican guy. I knew that was going to happen, because she was always on the internet and searching for her greatest love. You're not going to find your greatest love on the internet, people. So quit going to these match.coms and whatever. If you're going to find somebody, it's going to happen naturally. Meeting them in a grocery store or a gym or just going to church, you know. I'm thoroughly convinced I'm not going to get married again. Paul, that we have been together off and on it'll be 20 years next year. I mean, he actually asked me to get engaged, but got on one knee, gave me a cheap ring. It was a cheap ring, but hey, what's a ring? It wasn't even real gold. Since 2008. And, I'll be honest with you. I love Paul and everything, but I think it's too late in life for him to get married. I know. He wanted to get married because I think he wanted a mom replacement because he's a Peter Pan. If you ladies don't know what a Peter Pan is, let me explain. Peter Pan was a mythical creature in a story about a boy that didn't want to grow up. He never became a man, and so he stayed at Neverland. That's what the story of Peter Pan's about. And Paul is a Peter Pan. He never grew up. He actually lived with his mother up until the point where she finally got a restraining order and kicked him not too many people know this, but Paul's mother, Janet Vanderbilt Ortman, just couldn't handle it anymore because she wanted him to fly the nest, I remember she used to tell me, Cheryl, you can have him. She couldn't handle him anymore. I mean, the poor lady, she's 96, and now she's in assisted living, and he still goes over there and pretends, to take care of her. He never took care of his mother. It's really sad. Now, Joe Papine, he did take care of his father. Joe Papine was a licensed caregiver for years, taking care of his dad. And instead of taking the money that they gave him, the state, he gave it to his dad. And his dad took it to believe it or not, Santa Anita or the casino. I mean, Joe's been through a lot. Let me tell you, his father was, I can say it now because he's gone to be with the Lord. His father was in the Armenian mafia. He met a lot of famous people. We're talking Marilyn Monroe, Frank Sinatra, all those mafia types. He actually met them because he was in the Armenian mafia. Okay, now I finally spilled the beans, but I can do it now because his father died about 5 years ago, so it's okay. He always called me the garden lady. Hey, I always tell you the truth here at Shalom Productions, okay? And I really do love Paul, and, I'm concerned about him, but I just could not fly out to California. I'm too busy, and besides, I'm getting all my teeth taken out tomorrow, so I've got my own surgery coming up. Well, that's the skinny for today. I gotta go get my laundry. Good news is we've been looking at online at houses, because Joe really, I want to fulfill something for Joe Papine, who is my best friend. Him and I have been through thick and thin since 2006, And a lot of people don't know this, Joe Papine, but he's Jewish. His mother was a Jew. And it's funny, but I have a feeling if I go online and do that Ancestry.com and get his DNA, we might be cousins. Very possible. Well, that's it. Gotta go get my laundry. A woman's work is never done. Love you all. See you in the movies. Bye.